It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly. That Business Show gives a voice to Tampa Bay's entrepreneurial community and highlights our community leaders, aiming to inspire and educate our listeners. Become a part of the entrepreneurial movement today by becoming a member of the Tampa Bay Business Owners and get your brand on air today. Visit TampaBayRadio.com for more information. All shows available on demand. Now, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Learn more about the program, and you can catch the live video stream over at TampaBayRadio.com. Also, we've made the show available across multiple podcasting platforms now. So, in addition to iTunes, you can find the program on Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, Player.fm, and a number of the other podcasting sites as well. So, we appreciate the listeners, whether you're on the AM radio live with us each and every morning on YouTube or on the podcasting groups. We appreciate you listening or watching to the program each and every morning. And this show, again, is aimed at inspiring entrepreneurs and people who maybe not have a business to step outside the box and, start a business or get involved with an organization or a nonprofit or something that, is something that you've always wanted to do by listening to the stories of other entrepreneurs who have now come before you. In studio, Kelly Wilson, the co-host of the program, joins me this morning. Kelly, good morning to you.
Good morning. Happy Thursday.
It is Thursday, coming off a very nice main event last night at the Center Club for the Tampa Bay business owners. Did you enjoy the evening?
Yes, it was nice and inspirational, and we had actually 4 different speakers in regards to goal fulfillment and looking forward to 2017. So yes, it was, I'm already geared up and ready to go, but it was nice to be even more reinforced by the panelists that were there last night. Yeah, so it was great.
And Kelly has also released the new edition of the Edge Business magazine. Is that up on the website now?
It is now, yes.
Okay.
Edgebusiness.org. You can go to, and our fall-winter issue just launched, and it's featuring Terry Blachek, which is the franchise area developer, owner, partner of Orange Theory Fitness. And what an amazing story he has in regards to him. Well, first of all, his story and how he even got to where he is, and then how he was one of the original partners with Orange Theory, and how that brand just took off. And I think I was mentioning the other day, we were watching something regarding Donald Trump in New York, and I looked in the backdrop, and it's an Orange Theory fitness studio, on the new, it's just neat to see him all over, and just congratulations to them and all their success.
The power of branding, by giving a name Orange Theory makes people, more interested, I think, in the brand than if they had just called it, whatever gym, and I think even myself,
Kinda
when
like,
I first heard of Orange Theory, I was curious as to what that was. It didn't make sense to me until I went and researched it. And
yeah.
So the power of branding, we talk about that all the time.
Right. Well, and then even the College Hunks, we had Nick Friedman on the other day, College Hunks hauling junk, and even that, that brand, it was just something that caught on. Everybody, they wanted to check out the College Hunks.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it just caught.
Speaking of branding, we have
Speaking of College Hunks.
we have Brian Kornfeld in studio.
Hey, I'm not that young, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, would you rather go with the branding or the College Hunks? We'll go College Hunks.
I'll go with College Hunks. I'll take that any day of the week.
Who has branded himself under PopKorn apps and developing apps for us. So, Brian, good morning to you. How you doing today?
Good morning, Jamie. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning.
I was actually going to chime in there and say with Orange Theory, when it was first starting, I just remember they had these spray-painted orange bicycles all up and down Dale Mabry.
That was Terry's idea, actually.
And I kept saying, what are these for? What are these for?
That was the whole idea.
Charity run or bike ride or something, and then Orange Theory popped up. Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
Are they also the ones that are putting people in those bodysuits that run around Tampa too, or is that another facility that does that?
I
think there's orange bodysuit men that go around Tampa every so often.
Those I haven't seen yet.
We'll ask Terry when he comes in.
Luckily, I haven't seen that either. But the orange bikes, that was his idea years ago when he was opening the first studio on South Del Mabry, and brilliant idea. It works.
Yep. Oh, Brian joins us in studio today, and we're going to be talking about app design. So if you've got an idea for an app for your business or for just in general, you definitely want to speak with him. No matter where you're at in the planning stage, it can just be an idea, and get in touch with Brian, and be sure to visit PopKorn Apps. Be sure to put a K in PopKorn, or 727-415-6705 is his phone number. So Brian, let's just start, with that first step. So many people probably have an idea and they think, well, I need to do this, this. Tell them what they should be doing.
It's a really nice question, and it actually brings me back to last night at the main event. I was talking to this nice young woman, and we were discussing, and she was saying, well, I have this idea, and what do I do about this? And I need to think about it more, and I need to really flush it out more, and I need to get a lot more behind it. And I just kept saying, no, let's talk about the idea. And she proposed to me what the idea was, and really just the one sentence, that one little pitch, that 15 seconds to tell me about the idea is all you really need to get started. And I say that because you could take just that, and then if we were to sit down together for, say, a half an hour or so and really start to draw out, talk about what the requirements are, what has to be done, what needs to be a part of the initial release, and can really start to put it together. We could start to put together a project plan. We can start to put together price quotes. We can start to put together everything that you would need. And from there, we could take the project. That's really all that we need to get started. It's really about aligning your vision with what's going on in your head and getting that down onto some sort of technology, and that the visions do not have to be that big to start. I know last night we were talking about goals and goal development, and a good vision and a good way to start for app development or website development is think small but dream big. Start to think small, start to think how can you really get yourself started, what's the bare minimum you need, but have that very wide vision and keep yourself open to where it can grow to and where you can get to throughout the existence. A wise man named Jim Harbaugh once said, if your friends aren't laughing at you for your goals, you're not dreaming high enough or big enough. That. And I love that quote. That one sticks with me, not just because I love Jim Harbaugh as head coach of the University of Michigan's football team.
You had a rough weekend last weekend.
We don't need to talk about that. We'll pass through that one. But because it really does, you really do think about it, and that a lot of people are afraid of what their friends might say or their family might say.
If your friends are laughing at you, you're on the right path.
Exactly. you really, if you think of some of the world's greatest innovators, some of the people who were thought to be crazy at times, Einstein, Steve Jobs, people along those lines, there's a reason that they all think in that same wavelength, and it's because they can take things to the next level, the next level, the next level. And a lot of people really do think it, but they're afraid to push it. And I really hope that we can help inspire people to push themselves to that level.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes is, while some see crazy, we see genius. Those that think they're crazy enough to change the world, there are the ones that do. And Steve Jobs is one of my idols. As crazy as he might have been, but we all are. But you go after what your dreams.
But yeah, you probably would have hated him had you worked for him.
I'm sure. Yeah,
nobody liked to work with him.
Exactly. Yeah,
he was unique for sure.
He was definitely unique. But he falls into that same type of category as someone who's really pushing the boundaries and who doesn't really care about the boundaries and what people think about him. And I really encourage people to try to think that way, especially when you're getting into technology, because if you can push over that and you can really get over some of those initial fears, really that first step is one of the hardest for you to take, to say, all right, I'm actually going to do this. Let's go.
Growth only occurs when you get outside of your comfort zone. If you're doing what you've been doing for years, you're going to get the same results. You got to step outside of your comfort zone, and that's where growth can occur. And an app is an excellent way to step outside of your comfort zone, whether in an existing business or just have that idea. Because you had an idea years ago that you wish you had acted upon.
Yeah, I've had a number of them. And I was actually talking about one last night, which was an interesting one. But this one in particular, I'll go back to 2008. I was up in New York for a friend's wedding, and I was actually living in Los Angeles at the time. So I'd taken the red eye in, and I was staying with a friend for one day before we had to get up to Westchester in New York City, or we were in New York City. And so it was a Friday. So all my friends, people I was working with were or all the people that I was visiting were working, so I had the day to myself in New York City, walking around, and all of a sudden I had a text message saying, all right, we need to leave in 10 minutes, get back here. So I had to get a cab to get back quickly. It wasn't long enough to walk or take the subway. Tried to call a cab, and it was taking me forever. I couldn't take one, and I sent a text message to him, and the actual words I typed out is, man, I wish I could just point on my phone and say, I'm here, cab, come pick me up. So that was the initial premise of what Uber turned out to be. Uber wasn't founded for a number of years later. I was a couple years ahead of them, and a $50 billion business that was in my brain just went to die in my brain. And I sit back and I think about those all the time, and a number of them that have happened.
Was Uber, and let's say that Uber and Lyft didn't exist and somebody came to you with that idea today, would that have been a tough app to develop, that ride-sharing application from a developer standpoint?
At the time, it was on the more difficult side. I didn't research it too much, but I know now what has been developed that can help it. And actually, Uber has opened up a lot of doors for a lot of other entrepreneurs because they've created what's called an API, an automated protocol interface, where you can access their map system. And thus, you can pinpoint where somebody else is exactly on a map. And that's how a lot of these new delivery services are working out so well. At the time, it would have been a lot more customized, a lot more difficult. But nowadays, because some of these larger companies, Google, Uber, Facebook, they develop these softwares that other app developers can use, it makes it a whole lot easier today. And a lot of these ideas that at one time were absolutely Jetson-style far-fetched are they're perfect for today's day and age and perfect for growth.
Now, when you begin to develop an app, there's the iOS system and there's the Android system and there's also the Windows operating system for the Windows phone. Should you do one, two, or all three, or where should you start with that?
A lot depends on what you're trying to do. If you were trying to get the most eyes possible, I always recommend iOS and Android because they cover such a high percentage of the market. The Windows system, their apps, the Windows phones really are such a small percentage of the market at this point in time that I haven't recommended going that route. If you're doing an app for business, such as an internal business, I would normally recommend just sticking to one, maybe Android, just based off of a little bit of ease and a little bit more software compatibility. You could use that Android app on multiple platforms, phones, tablets, different manufacturers at different costs. Whereas with the iOS apps, you're stuck to the iPhone and the iPad only. So,
and what's a time frame to get an app developed? Just nothing complicated. Just saying a basic app, maybe to order services from my business or something. How long can that take?
Something basic like ordering services from a business, I would put in about a 3 to 4 month time frame. The more bells and whistles, the more features you put in, the longer it takes. It adds on time, cost, etc. So that's why I always preach lean development with people. The most complex app that we've developed took 6 months from the day that we started that design phase until the day that we were live on the store. So it takes a little bit of time, but that 3 to 6 month time frame is really right about where it should be.
So by lean development, like start small and then go big, is that kind of what you mean by lean?
So lean is a method of software development, and what it means is cut out the waste. And so when people say, what do you mean by waste and what do you mean by non-value add features, I tell people, write your vision on the board. Write your vision on a whiteboard. Just write it out there. Put it in one sentence. What is it? And then put all the different features that you want on the app also on the board and start erasing them if they don't tie directly to the vision. And I go back to a story actually having nothing to do with software, but Southwest Airlines, the CEO is known for this. He had on his board behind him in his desk, it said, our mission is to be the world's low-cost airline. And someone came in, a really smart woman, a marketing woman came in and said, we really should start serving Caesar salads on these planes. Our business travelers are going to love it. We could potentially add on some revenue. We're going to add some more customers. It's going to increase customer satisfaction. It's a great idea. It's low cost. We should do it. And he pointed at the whiteboard and he said, how is that going to build us to be the world's low-cost airline? And she didn't have an answer because it doesn't tie to the vision. So the idea was never implemented.
So they didn't get Caesar salads.
So no one gets you still got peanuts, but no Caesar salads. So when we say lean, we mean cut out all the waste, cut out everything that doesn't build directly to that vision.
Good point. Currently talking with Brian Kornfeld, founder and CEO of PopKorn Apps. Learn more at that website. Be sure to put a K in PopKorn, popkornapps.com or 727-415-6705. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
Savvy business owners utilize technology to connect with customers, communicate among teams, and collaborate with partners. Even with advances in technology, you all know it's not infallible. Where do you turn when your technology starts working against you? Who do you depend on to keep your team productive? Don't wait until your technology fails you. Get ahead of the crisis and contact the professionals at Alpha Computing Solutions so they can show you how to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit them online at www.alphacomputing.com.
Who doesn't have a smartphone these days? And of course, there's an app for everything. Well, almost everything. That's why the folks at PopKorn Apps started developing mobile applications. They saw people like you with genius ideas, unable to make those thoughts a reality. They develop applications for tens of thousands of dollars less than you'll find anywhere else, and will turn your idea into a reality in a matter of just a few months. Think you're not ready? Think again. They are your one-stop shop for mobile application development. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today. Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today, or visit BillMeyerHam.com. That's BillMeyerHam.com. Have a conversation.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again.
From the RP Funding Traffic Network.
Good morning. Heavy traffic on northbound 50th Street approaching Causeway. That's all due to a traffic light that is short cycling the left turn arrow to turn left onto Causeway. Also heavy traffic on southbound 75 south of Fletcher Avenue to I-4 and also westbound I-4 from Plant City over to McIntosh. Heavy traffic now on the southbound side of the Veterans Expressway from Lutz Lake Fern to around Hutchinson. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick Hillsborough traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
When Marlon Shirley was 5, he lost his foot. Today, as the world's fastest amputee, he runs the 100 meters in less time than it takes to listen to this. Overcoming. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life.
Cooler this morning, then a few passing clouds this afternoon, high 73. Tonight, chilly with clouds and drizzle, low 51. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 63.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Talking about app design with Brian Kornfeld, founder and CEO of PopKorn Apps. And learn more at that site, popkornapps.com. Be sure to put a K in PopKorn. Brian, you're working on a new app right now for Julianne Nichols' Focus on You strategy for an event. And so just to kind of jog them, the ideas of some of the people that are out there maybe listening, an event app. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, so Julianne is putting on what's called the Focus on Entrepreneurs Conference. It's going to be April 27th and 28th at the new Wyndham over in Clearwater Beach. It's going to be a phenomenal conference. Michael Gerber is the keynote speaker. Really excited to hear him talk. Hoping or should be having about 500 entrepreneurs, people who are either new or have been owning their own business for a number of years who want to help learn how to manage their time better. The theme of the conference is Automate, Delegate, Eliminate. So one of the things that they're doing with this is they're eliminating a lot of the paper waste and a lot of the waste of some networking time as well, of not being unsure of who people are by having an app for the conference. Really excited to be doing this app for the conference. And what I mean by eliminating the waste of networking time is it's going to be a social network built into the app where you can connect with people similar to a LinkedIn. And that's how you can really get a head start as to who you want to talk to, who can really help you out, who are going to be your best connections.
So all the attendees are going to be inside the app, and then instead of exchanging business cards, you could just go into the app and say, or connect each other via the app. Is that
exactly
how you're designing that?
Yep, and it will be looking like a business card as your profile on the app, so people can have information like your email address, your company, the industry, and the app as well will help manage the schedule. You could check in and out of events. You'll be able to post to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, about the conference as it's ongoing. I've seen the initial designs already. This is a very expedited development that we're doing, and the initial designs just look great. We're really excited to be able to put this out and help promote and work with this conference, which is going to be such a great cause, such a great time for everybody who attends, but also to really have our name on it and to help us grow, because something like an event app is something that can really take an event that you're running and take it to the next level.
Yeah, I like the idea of being able to connect people just like that.
Now, obviously it's quite an investment to create, the application and even just for the event. Will she be able to then take the event or the app and use it outside of the event and kind of transform it, or at that point how does that work?
So we're going to gear this particular app for the conference year after year.
Okay.
And we have a set number of features that are going in for this year. And then after the conference is over and when we rehash it in the May-June timeframe, we'll start talking about 2018 and beyond.
It'll be an annual conference. So gotcha.
Correct. And it's also the type of app that if she did want to use it for different events, that we would just have to rebrand and reskin it and put on different logos, different coloring, and all of a sudden it's very usable that it can be used for a different event. Now, there is some cost behind that to do, but once you do have an app that's already out there and if you want to use it for similar features just for a different brand, different name, it's pretty simple to do.
Currently, again, talking with Brian Kornfeld, founder and CEO of PopKorn Apps. So pick up the phone and give him a call. You just need to have an idea, nothing more. Just
all you
have
need
an
is
idea.
an idea. I like that.
727-415-6705. Again, 727-415-6705. Coming back from the break, we're going to talk with him about some of the different apps that he's designed through the years. And again, learn more about this program, TampaBayRadio.com. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
I feel guilty that I can't always be there when Mom feels stuck at home. She was always there for us. But now she can't get out, and I'm not always available to take her places. Someone else needs to help her get around. Then I learned about Home Instead. Now Mom can do what she enjoys because her personal caregiver is there, and I can just be a daughter again.
Are you struggling to care for your loved one? We can help. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
I-4 and also westbound I-4 from Plant City over to McIntosh. Heavy traffic now on the southbound side of the Veterans Expressway from Lutz Lake Fern to around Hutchinson. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Utica Hillsborough traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by SOS Children's Villages. War, poverty, and disaster have left millions of children around the world orphaned, abandoned, alone. When their parents can't be there, SOS Children's Villages is there in 134 countries, including the U.S. To make a difference in a child's life, go to sosusa.org.
1250 winds weather center forecast. Mostly cloudy skies today. Chance for some showers. Mainly see those stick to the afternoon ahead of the front moving in. Low 70s for the high. Overnight low because of the front, upper 40s. And Friday going to be a windy mix of sun and clouds day with temperatures for the high reaching the mid-60s. Impact Radio 1250 winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed the show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Learn more about the program at TampaBayRadio.com and TBSInterview.com if you would like to come onto the program. Also, we've added another website, ThatBusinessShow.com, where all the audios are easily available on demand and searchable by show date. So just use the search box in the upper top of the website. And if you're a past guest on the program, we'd ask that you look up your show there and share. We've got easy to use sharing functions on the site. And again, ThatBusinessShow.com in addition to TampaBayRadio.com. Currently talking about app design with Brian Kornfeld. He's the founder and CEO of PopKorn Apps, and you can pick up the phone and give him a call with an idea that you have, 727-415-6705, or visit popcornapps.com. Be sure to put a K in popcorn. And Brian, what are some of the apps that you've developed there through the year? I know when we first met, it was the Rhino App.
Yeah, so that was what initially got this started, actually, was the Rhino App, and my idea for a social network to help provide recommendations beyond just what you could get via Yelp or TripAdvisor. I was noticing on Facebook and other social networks, people were still asking their friends, hey, what restaurant should I go to when I visit Tampa? Where should I stay when I go here? What should I do? And my wife and I were booking a trip up to Nashville, and we started doing the same thing and posting it and said, well, there really should be a way that people can actually put these recommendations in, and this way you're not hoping the right person sees your post at the same time. It's an automated push and pull where I would put in restaurants, Nashville, Southern food, and then all of a sudden all of my friends and people who I followed, their recommendations would pop up. So that was what spawned out the Rhino app, and from there, initially, and this is how PopKorn Apps was founded, was I was told based off of that idea it was going to cost me $150,000, $200,000 to get that development together. And I said, no, can't do it. Not going to do it. Don't have that type of money. Sorry. And figured out ways to do it for much less than that. And
I'd say it was much less.
Yeah, with a lot more muches to it. And I said, there's got to be other people like me, and there's got to be other people who have these ideas that they're just sitting on that they would really want to act upon, but it's really cost prohibitive. So once I figured that out, I spun it into this business as well, where I can help other people out doing these developments and getting their ideas to market, and have done a number since.
And that's engineering brain there. He's got a background in aerospace engineering, by the way. He sends satellites up into space and all of that fun stuff as well. So, he's found the way to shave tens of thousands of dollars off the cost of the traditional app design. And that probably stops a lot of people from picking up the phone and giving you a call, because they probably think they're going to get a quote like $100,000, $150,000.
Yeah, and nowhere close to that. I encourage people to pick up the phone and give a call, because we find a way to make it work. And yes, there is some cost to it, but we try to a way to not make it cost prohibitive, and that's one of the big fears that we try to get over. One of the big hurdles we try to get over. The two big fears from everyone: one is the cost, and two is the technology. And if we could cover both of those, then really there's less excuse that you have for not wanting to go forward with an idea that you have.
Are you still working on the Rhino app? I know it's in stores. Is it still
it's in stores.
To market and develop
it's
that
still
one?
live. We are working on a couple updates on it. We really want that user experience to get a little better. It was the first time I had gone down the path of doing any sort of design, and learned a lot of lessons. So it's definitely a very viable idea, and still live and running, and have done a number since. A couple that I love, that I'm really proud of. One is actually getting out into beta right now, called Examine. We spoke in here with Matt Cole, the founder of Examine, and he has an app for promoting positivity and positive ideas and your nonprofit organizations. Think of it like a LinkedIn for nonprofits in a sense, and where you have that option to post those positive actions and positive pictures and things that make you happy every day. So that's getting out into beta testing now, and should be released probably in the next month or so nationally. One called the Hap, which has been absolutely great to work on. I've been absolutely loving it. And it's what's happening in your town and what deals are out. It was initially called Cheap Buzz to promote deals at bars, and it's grown now to a little bit more about what's happening and what events are going to take place and what deals are going to be taking place around the area.
I always think we need to have a social network out there to pull all the political talk into a forum, and nothing like that's out there that I've seen. Everybody uses Facebook for that, but I think that's an opportunity right there. If somebody could market and develop a social network to get all the political talk in.
I would love it, and at
least
have some friendly debates, and exactly, get it off Facebook so I don't have to. Well, you won't have to read it again for another 3.5 years. So that's,
at least you know when you go there, that's what you're getting. Is what I'm getting at.
Right.
Yes.
Well, and people post it on Facebook because they want the eyes and to be reading it. And when you're on a place like Facebook, you know you're going to be getting a couple hundred people who are going to be seeing your status on a daily basis. And
but politics inspires people to move. And to me, if somebody created a social network designed around politics, people would move and they would aggregate over there at that channel as opposed to Facebook. I don't know. It's not what I do, but I think I would be setting up something like that.
I've had that same hypothesis for a long time, that if you had the social network for politics, it wouldn't just be a way to filter it off of Facebook, but it would be a way to inspire people to action rather than just posting something.
Well, that might be one that in a couple of years you're mad at yourself.
Maybe.
Maybe you two need to get with it and get it live, build it, start building.
How difficult is it to get an app inside a store? Are they pretty receptive to designers and developers once you've developed them?
They're very receptive to designers and developers. Both Android and iOS love getting more apps to their stores. Android tends to be easier for approval. They normally have a turnaround of a day or two from your initial submission, where the iOS, the Apple Store, tends to take a little bit longer, about 2 weeks. And you do tend to have a bit of a rejection cycle there, and I warn people about that every time, that usually an app going to the iOS store gets rejected at least once, if not 2 or 3 times, and it's just bound to happen. But there are ways just to clean it up and to make it work, and it's our job to know the rules and to know what regulations are there to help lower that cycle. So now we really have it down. So the rejections are between 0 and 1, just depending on what's in the app.
How do you keep up then with the updates with the apps?
That really is up to the entrepreneur and the person who owns the app. We keep up to date with the different software systems.
That's what I was getting. When the systems update, do you have to update the app to keep up with the operating platform?
A lot of the app, or not a lot of the apps, some of the apps you do, some you don't. It really depends on the new rules and the new software that comes out with it. If there's new features, sometimes there was one that came out recently for Apple, and you needed to have a new version of Google Maps with it. A lot of people integrate Google Maps into their app, and you had to upgrade your Google Maps version. So that's the type of thing that we can definitely help out on and provide maintenance for apps.
Now, can somebody who has an existing website come to you and say, I wanted you to turn my website into an app? Is that a good starting point for somebody with an app?
That's a great starting point. And a lot of people are wondering, should they do it? And I strongly encourage people to go that route based on eyes, based on what you can get, the different marketing levels. Whenever you see people walking around the mall, you see them staring down into their phone all the time. And yes, they can access your website via the mobile web, but most people get there via Google. And if they're going via Google, that means that competitor websites are coming up as well. Whereas if they're in an app, they're stuck into your system and they can't get to anyone else. But also, apps run a lot cleaner, smoother, and faster on the phones. That's what the phone was created for, was to run the apps and not the web.
I've gotten in the habit now of looking for the app instead of going to the website. I think, is this something that would be a good app? Yes, and I'll go look for it and see if the company has an app. And a lot of times, I'm finding them now.
Yeah, and a lot of companies are putting them out there, and it's the type of thing these days. If you are a business owner, if you're not pushing yourself into an app, you could be falling behind your competitors, and it's a very competitive marketplace in a lot of different industries.
So where do you search for an app? Do you search in the store? So
Yep.
instead of going to Google and looking for the business name, you're going to the store and looking for the app. Is that
Explain
right?
how the stores work. Yeah.
Yeah, and the stores actually work on similar algorithms as Google. They have an actual search engine optimization, SEO, throughout the stores. So as you get an app released, encourage people to download, encourage people to give good ratings. Continual downloads definitely help. Using the right keywords as a part of your description is extremely important. But yes, searching through the store is one way to do it, or a lot of companies, if they have an app, you should be promoting it on the homepage of your website as one of the first things people see is, hey, download our app.
And that's where I usually find that someone has an app, and I'll think, oh, okay, they have an app, and I only really download it if I think I'll use it.
Yeah, and I noticed
the
the Facebook fan pages has an option to install an app. There's like the call to action button, like sign up here or go here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a install an app or get the app also, so people can incorporate with their fan page.
Yeah, and I actually don't like the way Facebook does it because most people have two apps. They have the iOS or the Android.
Oh, so you can't use okay. So that's the
and
problem.
you have to put in one or the other. So it's a little tough there, but at the same time.
Well, I'm sure Facebook probably realizes that and they'll probably update that down the road. I would at least.
I would hope so. I sure would hope so because it needs to be done. Because otherwise you're cutting out half of the enterprise and the call to action. But at the same time, yes, it's all there where you can actually, with one button, that will take you straight to the store, straight to that page, and straight to where it says open, install, download.
Yeah, I always like to search through the App Store because there's so many, and then you could find so many different things. And sometimes you don't even know what you want; you just want to browse. But now there's so many, you can't even go through them all, kind of like you used to. I don't know; it's almost overwhelming.
Yeah, and you gotta be careful too because there's a lot of kind of I guess what do you want to say, apps that are kind of designing themselves to look like something else being designed by somebody. And they want you to think it's been designed by that company and stuff, or certain major brands. So you got to watch out for that too in the app stores.
Well,
and the Apple Store tries to cut that out, and that's part of their rule base is mimicking exact other apps. They try to prevent you from basically taking another app and doing the exact same thing in the exact same pages, the exact same way, the exact same look and feel.
I usually look for the reviews. So if it has a ton of reviews, I know it's been around a long time and it's probably what I'm looking for. But if it only has 5, then it might not be.
Are you at risk of downloading viruses when you download an app on the phone like you are on the web when you go download a program right now?
No, the stores are really good about scanning for those types of things. There was a breach maybe 2 years ago or so, or a year or so ago with Apple, where they had a couple apps that did have some that were developed overseas, and those got swept away very, very, very quickly.
All right. Again, currently talking with Brian Kornfeld, founder and CEO of PopKorn Apps. Learn more at that website, popkornapps.com. Be sure to put a K in PopKorn. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
What's up, business rock stars? Are you ready to bring out the CEO in you? Join Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, every other Friday on That Business Show. She'll be talking with other chief entrepreneurial officers about how they grew their businesses. Remember, you could join the conversation at Focus on You Strategies Focus Fridays Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. That's facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. Be the CEO of you. Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today or visit billmeyerham.com. That's billmeyerham.com. Have a conversation.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again. If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
Savvy business owners utilize technology to connect with customers, communicate among teams, and collaborate with partners. Even with advances in technology, you all know it's not infallible. Where do you turn when your technology starts working against you? Who do you depend on to keep your team productive? Don't wait until your technology fails you. Get ahead of the crisis and contact the professionals at Alpha Computing Solutions so they can show you how to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit them online at www.alphacomputing.com.
Who doesn't have a smartphone these days? And of course, there's an app for everything. Well, almost everything. That's why the folks at PopKorn Apps started developing mobile applications. They saw people like you with genius ideas, unable to make those thoughts a reality. They develop applications for tens of thousands of dollars less than you'll find anywhere else, and will turn your idea into a reality in a matter of just a few months. Think you're not ready? Think again. They are your one-stop shop for mobile application development. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
From the Spectrum Traffic Center.
Crash in Wesley Chapel causing some big delays on eastbound State Road 54 and eastbound State Road 56. The crash right near I-75 has traffic backed up to almost Livingston, and heavy traffic on northbound 50th Street approaching Causeway. The left turn signal only lasting about 5 seconds, and that's causing backups through that area. See traffic problems, call the injury firm of Abrahamson Urich, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Lead Safe America. More than 1 in 3 American kids has lead in their blood. No level of lead is safe. Lead poisoning causes learning disabilities and behavioral disorders. Has your child been tested? Learn more at leadsafeamerica.org.
Cooler this morning, then a few passing clouds this afternoon, high 73. Tonight, chilly with clouds and drizzle, low 51. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 63.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed the show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Talking about app design with Brian Kornfeld of PopKorn Apps. Learn more at that website, popkornapps.com. Be sure to put a K in popcorn. So, Brian, let's talk a little bit about the intake process when somebody comes to you and the questions that you're going to ask them so that they know to be prepared, such as maybe who are their target users, deadlines, things of that. Talk to us a little bit about what you're going to ask them when they come to you.
So let's do this a little bit of a different way. How about we simulate it a little bit where you have an app idea, and let's walk through a couple things that might be. So throw an idea, throw something
like
out.
the radio show app.
Okay.
You've been wanting to do a radio show app, so I come to you and I say, you know what, I'd like to do an app for That Business Show. I've seen stuff on the phone with other radio show hosts, and they have something. So I'd like to have something like that.
So what do you want to have accessible to your users?
Well, the audios, it would be nice to be able to easily just click on the button and then there's a list of the audios right there like I see on stuff.
Do you want video as well or just audio?
I'd like to do video because we do video stream the program. I would probably actually prefer to do video if it's not too much more of a cost, because I think that would set this apart from other podcasts that are out there. So yeah, I would definitely like to do video.
And the photography component would be great.
We have a photography component as well with Rick Tulseda. So just trying to think for a second there. If we're going to do that, what type of user interaction would you want? Do you want them to just be able to download and
You'd want them
watch
to share
and listen?
everything.
Yeah, you'd want it sort of like what I had set up on thatbusinessshow.com, where there is the link to the program and then the sharing buttons to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all of that easily accessible right there. And also with links to the general sites, too, for the Facebook fan page, the Twitter account, and all of that stuff as well. So nothing highly elaborate, just ease of use and getting to programming, and also maybe a feature whereby they could listen live in the morning as well, if that were possible, or wherever it's recorded or done as well.
Yep. Do you want ability for comments or likes on shows, or do you think that would be
I would like that. Yeah, I think that would be a good feature to add in as well. Also a button whereby they could easily contact me, email or I am the host or whatnot.
So going back to the likes and the comments, is that something that you deem to be fully necessary for a version 1, or do you think that could be something added on down the road?
That's not. No, the main idea with the initial design would be to just have the files easily accessible and shareable across social media at this point.
So that what we would do then from that point is really start to draw out what something would look like and what a homepage could look like, and start talking about different colors and different schemes and different marketing type activities or branding activities using what you have on the existing website of thatbusinessshow.com. And
this something that you could pull off of, like, I don't know if you know the podcasting talk, like an RSS feed is what we send to iTunes and Stitcher that has all the shows, and somehow it knows how to read that RSS feed. Could you then just take an RSS feed and then tie it into
shows? Yeah, we could do it that way. That's one way to do it in a less expensive way. And the positive part about that is you don't have to host all of the downloads then. And
how can I track the people then that are downloading the actual app? How does that work?
The tracking of the download of the app, there's a couple ways to do it. You could either do it via the stores. So from your developer account, you can see the number of downloads. Or the way that we set up with analytics and back-end web pages, that you would have a web page that you then could access, and it's going to be a web page that nobody else in the world needs to even know exists. It doesn't need a good URL. You just need to know about it, and it will track then all the different accounts that have registered and that have downloaded this app.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. Through that Libsyn account, it kind of creates your own version of an app.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cool concept for companies to be able to offer something to think about and how you incorporate that somehow. But I guess it's only through the Libsyn, so that they have to actually go through that. I don't know the terminology for the podcast,
it makes a standardized app and everything. Yeah, through Libsyn and everything. And
but obviously, wouldn't have the features of having it all.
No.
combined,
That's just a very basic app and everything. It doesn't allow you to share and things of that nature. I'd like to be able to share across social media and things of that nature.
And that's where that next level comes in. And there are platforms out there that do that very basic, very simple design, but what you're going to get from that is a bit of a boxy feel. It's going to be very cookie cutter. It's going to be very black. I won't say black and white because it adds color to it, but it is very simple. And if you want to start to add the features to it, that's when you start to need to have more of a customized design.
What features add like a lot of cost to the app? Like, say I want to do a chat feature. Is that going to run up the bill a lot? Is there certain things that are just going to jump it up a lot that you should probably stay away from in the initial design?
There are two that really jump up costs. The first one is messaging, so person-to-person messaging or chat. And the reason that jumps up cost is server cost. Messaging requires its own server, so it requires a lot more space and information storage and speed because it has to happen very instantaneously. So that is one. The second is payment processing. Payment processing is the one that I try to tell people for an initial version on an app, try to avoid it if you can. It's going to jump up your cost just based on the functionality. B, it's going to jump up the cost for security because anything with payment, you have to have another layer of security on it. And then C, there are some associated fees, especially for Apple, that they will take for any sort of payment processing. So I try to tell people to avoid that for the initial stage. Once it grows, build it back in. You can always add things in later, but you can never take a cost away once you've already paid it. So think about that and use your user feedback. Talk to your user base. Use surveys of different kinds to see what features users want you to grow to rather than just saying, I think that all of this needs to happen and needs to happen right away.
All right. Well, good discussion. Brian Kornfeld, founder and CEO of PopKorn Apps. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jamie and Kelly.
A happy birthday next week, by the way, too.
Thank you very much.
And again, if you just have an idea, he invites you to give him a call for that app design at 727-415-6705, 727-415-6705, or visit popcornapps.com. Be sure to put a K in Popcorn. Learn more about this program over at tampabayradio.com. And if you're wondering how to get onto the show, visit tbsinterview.com, and also all shows available on demand at thatbusinessshow.com as well. You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.